In this episode of BTV, COVID policies and how the district may be changing them, more information on how the pandemic is affecting our student teachers, and several amazing classes work together to keep with a project for the PE teachers. All that and more coming up on this episode of BTV. Welcome back to BTV Buffs. I'm Lexi.
And I'm Neo. Quarantine may be over and done with, but the COVID-19 pandemic is still a real danger. Noah Burig is up first to talk about what the school district is going to do to help people stay safe.
Got married in March. We can use that.
2 years into the pandemic, many are still wondering what the policies are and when they will change. The board decided that students who have had to quarantine can come back in 5 days as long as they're feeling better.
We're able to get them back into school as long as they're feeling better. And there is a requirement at the end of the quarantine that says, if you're not feeling better, don't go ahead and come back.
One of the biggest changes that has occurred is the sub-requirements being lowered.
Yes, I think it'll help us possibly with some of our vacancies. Does it worry me a little bit that some of our recent graduates could be in high school again? Yes, that does as well.
But lowering sub-requirements doesn't prevent a shutdown. If too many teachers are out with COVID, then a shutdown will still be possible.
If we can continue to operate, then we will continue to operate. If we hit a point where we just cannot manage it anymore, then we will contact the secondary office and let them know what the situation is.
A state law that was recently passed limits the school district to only have one remote school.
If we were, as a district or as a school, in a situation where we needed to go remote, we're limited to only be able to do that for 7 days.
The Board of Education, who is in charge of making all of these policies, is still struggling to make a decision on masks, most recently ruling in favor of keeping the mandate. The issue will likely come up again in the future. For BTV, I'm Noah Burig.
Thank you, Noah. Let's all hope this blows over sooner than later.
After last year's stay-at-home learning, student teachers never had a chance to shine. While this year is better, it's still different. Reporter Christy Dong has more.
COVID-19 has had a negative impact on student teachers' learning experience compared to what they would have experienced under normal circumstances.
You were kind of able to get them in the swing of things quicker. They had more access to the students, were used to being in class, less stuff's kind of online.
It's been a little bit hard because there's a lot that I can and can't do. And there's a lot I have to take into consideration and when it comes to absences.
I think it's a lot different than what we're taught in our classes because personalities are different and it's harder to adapt to multiple personalities, especially after being in a year of quarantine.
One of the biggest challenges this year is technology.
In the past, we've had extra technology that we can give out to student teachers. Now the district pretty much, they have to bring their own technology and then we have to go through some paperwork and forms to grant them access. And they don't get access to everything. So again, that's where we have to work together.
Trying to learn how to use different programs because each district uses different programs that you just know. You can't just teach one and expect them to know how to use them all.
Mr. Field is one of the few who had a student teacher last year.
So she was actually observing my classroom when the pandemic hit in, March of 2019. She then continued on and did her student teaching with me through the 1920 school year.
He changed his teaching methods for her to get the best learning experience.
Where last year it was hey, we're going to focus on lesson planning. Hey, we're going to focus on trying to be engaging. Oh, now students are back. Now we're going to focus on classroom management. And so it was kind of just a very different way and a different approach to student teaching last year.
Hopefully in the future, student teachers will get the whole experience again. For BTV, I'm Christy Dong.
It's nice knowing we're now able to give student teachers their place in the classroom again.
We have started the year with several new admins, but recently, a new admin has been assigned to our school. Miss Baldwin has come from South High. Since her transfer, it has been very welcoming for her. However, there were some challenges.
I think the biggest challenge is taking the step in when everybody else has been here. You're not coming in fresh in a new year. So I feel a little bit like everyone is running this marathon and they're halfway through the marathon and I'm still finding the starting line.
4 different classes recently came together to make cornhole boards for the PE classes. Reporter Brody Shaw tells us how it all came together.
Currently, right now, we did an in-service last year, and one of the things that we did was a game called Cornhole. And so we were looking at trying to buy cornhole for our department for our kids to be able to play in our classes as an outdoor recreational activity. So I started pricing the boards and kind of looking at things, and they were kind of expensive.
Since the boards are expensive, Wise thought he could save some money by building with the help of other classes here at Southeast.
The engineering classes, they built the boards. Also textiles, they're going to be sewing the bean bags, and then we're painting. And then Coach Wise will be using them in the PE classes.
The students are also excited about helping with this project.
Because he needed someone to paint the boards. It's for it's a project that the woodworkers made this, and then we're painting it, and then fabrics like textiles is going to make the bean bag.
The teachers want to see more collaboration throughout kids and staff like this.
I think collaboration is a good idea because that's what happens in the real world. Not one person or one company focuses on the creation of something. Most of the time, everybody has an expertise, and they put that expertise into making a final product.
Hopefully we get to see these boards in use sometime soon. For BTV, Brody Shaw.
And now it's time for another episode of Have You Heard?
In this episode, we find out what people would really do for a Klondike bar.
Would you let old Mike Tyson punch you in the stomach? Really? He's old, man. He's like 60 years old. Would you sell your soul for a Klondike bar? Matter of fact, actually, I'll give you a little bit of leeway. Would you sell your soul for 5 Klondike bars?
Man, 5 Klondike bars would be a steep price for my everlasting soul.
Would you eat 50 pounds of cheese for 2 Klondike bars?
Yes.
Okay. Would you slap your mother in the face?
Of course, of course, I would slap it.
Hi. Here at BTV, we do not condone any actions against our parents because we care about them and they've done a lot for us. Now, back to the show.
I suppose maybe if you threw in like a family-sized bag of Doritos, we might have a deal.
I will go to prison for a Klondike bar. I will punch my mom.
5 Klondike bars and a McChicken.
Theoretically, if you had a girlfriend right now, would you break up with her for a Klondike bar?
No. Dang. I already have. So what she gonna do? What she gonna do? What she gonna do?
Can we get like can we do like the spicy deluxe?
So you guys are in a forest, right? Then all of a sudden, you hear a little rustling in the grass. And then all of a sudden,
you throw yourself a large fry and we got a deal.
And then there you have it.
Recently, LAC had a donut sale on January 28th. The donut sale raising money for the Salvation Army was successful for raising over $500 for the Salvation Army. Just like gas prices in the U.S., our donut prices have increased ever so slightly. Now 1 dozen donuts is $12 instead of $10.
Recently was Mrs. Farmer's support dog in training's first birthday, meaning Jolene completed her first year around the sun. Jolene celebrated birthday during lunch in Mrs. Farmer's class. At the party were cookies, brownies, and dog treats. Steph was able to enter to celebrate, while students were later allowed the next day. We're hoping Jolene had a good birthday and that she'll stay in the building next time the doors open.
And here is Evan Tong and David Lowndes for our sports.
Hi, welcome to Buffalo Sports, where I'm your anchor, Evan Tong, and this is
co-anchor David Lowndes.
Basketball is the greatest thing since sliced bread. We continue to beat cellar dwellers like West and North, but have been able to conquer the top dogs in Capon and Heights respectively. I also heard what that Heights crowd said, and it was pretty rough, unforgivable even. However, on February 11th, I saw the greatest game. It was a battle through and through against the Grizzlies, a dazzling performance of both shooting and slashing. It came down to the wire that was capped off by an Anthony Verge jam to win 65-59. This win secures our record above 500. It'll take everything for that push to sub-state and beyond.
On the other side, the Whalers continue their success as third in the G-Wall behind the dominant Bishop Carroll and the D1 Magic headed by Heights' Ziana Walker. And much like the boys, the two top dogs remain undefeated against Southeast. 2 dominant wins against West and Northwest, but a blowout loss to Heights in a 3-point onslaught, and Ziana Walker clearly showed why she's the top prospect in Kansas. In a second showing of the greatest game, it looked grim for the Buffs at Capon, down 10 for majority of the game, though they stepped it up in the fourth quarter to go on a run capped off by Ramaya Kennedy's game-winning bucket to go up 42-41. You girls are awesome for breaking the hearts of trust fund children and overcoming no calls.
This year we got to host the 6A Boys Regional for wrestling, where many from all around the state west of Kansas City came to play. A bit of a rough patch at the Boys Regional with only Cervante Williams managing 1 win, but we did manage to find one of the more hype matchups between some locals.
It was a record-setting day for the Buffs in Topeka as Aiden Jones set the school record with a 22:05 second run in the 50 freestyle to place 7th. The 200 freestyle relay was swam by Aiden Jones, Evan Boudreau, Parker Ray, and Caden Blyer. This shot the Buffs up from 16th place to 11th place in state to finish the season. Congratulations on this great season, guys.
Strikes, spares, and gutter balls. Bowling ain't easy, but our players make it look so. At North Rock Lanes on January 21st, the boys managed a team win against West to place 2nd, with South taking 1st. Jesse Robideau had the 3rd highest series with 580. Malik Peaks took 5th with a 555. The girls lagged behind in a team game, but Joanna Wynn had the 2nd highest series with 524. Southeast girls placed 3rd in the meet behind West and 1st place South. It's much better than what I can do, and that's why they put me in the booth.
For Tri-County basketball, they had a win over East 21-18. Samuel Gibson was an outstanding performer with 17 points, as well as Cayenne Adger Hackney, who had a great 15 rebounds cleaning that glass.
In heartwarming news, Keisha has given the Spirit of Sport award to our very own Greg Davis, who overcame the odds of being diagnosed with leukemia his junior year of high school to become a member of the Southeast basketball team his senior year. The Make-A-Wish Foundation will also grant him the wish of meeting NBA superstar Kevin Durant. Congratulations, Greg. You are a definition of a fighter and a survivor.
Speaking of basketball, I've been making something for the past month, a hype video for the boys basketball team. I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I enjoyed filming and making it.
Hi, welcome back to Buff Elites. I'm Ricky Clay, and today we have with us Evan Boudreau, our swimmer here. Evan, thank you for being here with us. Tell us, you've been on the team for 4 years. You've made a lot of improvements with going to state again. This will be your 2nd year going to state. Just tell us how it's been, trying to be a leader on this team and like what the morale is like and, really what these 4 years have meant to you.
These 4 years, it's been pretty fun. There's always going to be difficult times, especially doing sports. Swimming is really brutal with practices and all that, but the team's been very great. I love the team. That's one of the things that keeps you going, and just overall fun. But to be a leader on the team, you really do have to just have that mindset. No matter how I feel, I'm going to put my absolute all into this because I've already committed, and I got to keep going for not only myself, others as well.
I know it's very special, especially as a senior. So what does that really mean to you? Try to put that into words, how much that affects you as a swimmer, in your last year of high school.
In my last year of high school, being able to go to state is just so great because there are so many just extremely fast people who've been doing it for so long, or they're just genetically gifted. And personally, I really had to just work on one thing just to go, and it's a team effort to be able to go. So I really want to just thank my team members like Aiden and Parker and Caden. They all it was a team effort to be able to go.
Those are some wonderful, inspiring words coming from our good friend Evan Boudreau. Once again, I'm Ricky Clay with Buff Elites. Thank you. See you next time.
And that does it for sports with this episode of BTV.
Maybe there will be more trials from any other take. Maybe you could be there too. I'm a Buffalo.
You're a Buffalo.
We're Buffalo all. Back to you, Neil and Lexi.
Thank you for another great sports cast.
And now we'll leave you with some sights and sounds of our band. See you next episode, Buffs.